Almost everybody has one of these, and it's not because it's the best phone ever. Technically, it's because Apple's done such a good job at branding and building an ecosystem that people want to be a part of. Now, as a pool contractor, there's a lot you can learn from Apple and apply into your business to get higher paying clients who will leave you good reviews, who won't breathe down your neck or ask for discounts. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you can learn from Apple to apply to your contracting business so you can make more money and get better quality clients. My name's Douglas, I'm the founder of Aqualeads, and we only work with pool contractors and outdoor living contractors because I've seen firsthand how the cheaper guys, the guys that are undercutting everybody, doing it unlicensed and just doing bad work, are ruining the industry. Now, Apple did almost $500 million in the last year, and it was just by having an amazing client experience. It wasn't about the quality of their products, but it's all about the experience and the ecosystem that they've built. Here's the thing. Any pool builder can copy this strategy. The problem is most won't because they don't see what I'm about to show you. But the ones who do are completely dominating their market right now. Now, here's my promise to you. By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear understanding of exactly how you can close 60% of clients instead of 18%, how you can charge higher premium prices, and how you can turn a one-time client into a client for life. Let's get right into it. So here's the first strategy. Apple never tries to sell you. They let you sell yourself. I want you to walk into an Apple store, remember the last time you did, and pay close attention to the things that they do, but more importantly, the things that they don't do. Nobody will approach you and nobody will ask, what are you looking for today? You can spend 20 minutes playing with a phone, an iPad, or a computer and decide the features that you want and nobody's going to bug you. But watch what happens the second you ask a question. The employee doesn't start bombarding you with technical specs like, oh yeah, this has a 1 terabyte hard drive and 64 gigabytes of RAM. They ask you more questions. They ask you, what are you planning to use it for? And now it's a conversation. They're diagnosing. They're asking you about your work. And 5 minutes later, they're not selling you a computer. They're solving your problems. And the MacBook just happens to be the solution. That's what we call invisible sales. You never feel sold to, but you buy anyway. Now, let's compare that to pool builders. Here's how most pool sales go. The homeowner is going to call you and they're going to say, hey, how much does it cost to build a pool? You're gonna say, well, it depends on the size, the depth, maybe between $40,000 to $80,000. And they say, okay, great, thank you. And then they're gone forever. And now don't get me wrong, leading with price is huge right now. This is building a lot of trust with homeowners. It's really important to do, but you can't just leave it at that. You need to help them decide what they want to use that pool for so that they can see the product and the value instead of the actual cost. And when you're talking to the homeowner, you really have a fork in the road. And a lot of the pool contractors we've worked with, we've talked about these different methods. One option is lead with price, throw the price out there and be done with it. The second option is lead with what Tom Reber calls fact-finding questions. This is where you can dig a little bit deeper into their goals, their dreams, the utility, and actually understand them, what the problem is that they're trying to solve with this pool so that you can prescribe a solution. That's how you can separate yourself from the person who just sells pools to the person who actually solves a problem. And I'm gonna read an example script that we put together, but imagine the homeowner says, how much does a pool cost? And you can say, great question. Before I throw numbers at you that won't mean anything, help me understand what's making you think about a pool right now. And now they start talking. Kids are getting older. We want them home instead of over at the friends' houses, spending $5,000 a year at Great Wolf Lodge or hotel pools or something like that. They think the backyard is ugly, neighbors have pools, property values suffering, and every answer that you get from them gives you ammunition. And now you can ask a few more questions. Have you talked to other pool builders? What was your experience with them? They're probably gonna tell you something like, we've got quotes all along the board. We've got 50, we've got 80, we've got 110, and they all look the same. And then you can dive a little bit deeper with them and understand their needs and give them an accurate quote that solves that actual problem. A really cool thing that we're doing with our clients right now to get them hundreds of leads per month is by building an online estimator tool so the homeowner can use this tool, pick their options and build out their custom pool and get an instant quote. That way, when they call you, they already know what the price is. They've already decided what they want and they're ready to buy. The moral of this story is you want to position yourself as the educator and the expert and not just a guy slinging quotes. Because let's face it, there's people who can do it way cheaper than you. They won't be in business very long, but they will do it. And if you are trying to compete on price alone, you're gonna lose. But here's the problem. Even if you nail the sales conversation, you're still gonna lose if you're positioned wrong. Because Apple doesn't just sell differently, they position differently. And that's gonna lead us to strategy number 2. Apple doesn't sell and compete on specs, they compete on identity. Look at this. I just bought a new MacBook Pro for $3,000, and I could have gotten a Windows computer for $900 with similar specs, but somehow Apple sells 10 million more units per year. Why? Well, it's not because they're selling a computer. They're selling a membership for creative professionals who refuse to compromise. I mean, just watch how Apple markets. They're not saying, hey, this is a computer with 512 gigabytes of storage and 64 gigabytes of RAM. They're saying this is a product for creatives who refuse to compromise. Just look at the difference. One of those is a spec sheet and the other one is a solution. When you buy a MacBook, you're not buying the technology and the specs, you're buying the identity that you become when you own it. But now let's look at how pool builders are positioning themselves. So on the screen, we're gonna pop up a handful of different pool contractors' websites, and I want you to see how similar they all look. It's a business card with a domain name. It's very salesy, and it looks the same as literally everybody else. And when that's all the homeowner sees, they think the quotes look the same and they just pick the cheapest one. And now here's the positioning formula. We, specific service for specific client in specific area who want specific outcome without specific pain. That's the formula. Some of those examples would be, we build modern geometric pools for Scottsdale luxury homes who want a resort experience without sacrificing yard space. Or another one, we renovate outdated 1990s pools for Paradise Valley families who want a modern backyard without 4-month construction timelines. And that's Apple level positioning. You're not just a pool builder anymore. You're the pool builder for the specific solution that they're looking for. Okay, so now you're selling like Apple. You're positioning like Apple. But here's where things get really powerful, because most pool builders are leaving around $90,000 on the table. When Apple sells you a product, they don't just sell the product and disappear. They trap you into an ecosystem. And that's what this third strategy is. Here's strategy number 3. Apple doesn't really make money by selling you a $1,000 iPhone. They make money by turning you into a $10,000 customer over the next 5 to 10 years. Here's how the trap works. You buy a $1,000 phone and you love it, but then you want to listen to music. So you buy some headphones for $250 that connect directly to the phone without having to go into Bluetooth. But those headphones aren't that good, so you buy the $500 headphones so you can really listen to your favorite movies. Then your computer starts running slow, your old Windows, it's old, outdated, so you end up buying a MacBook Pro for $3,000. Now that $1,000 iPhone just turned into $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000 worth of products, but it doesn't stop there. They've built this whole ecosystem where now you're paying $10 a month for storage on your photos, $7 a month for Apple TV, $10 a month for Apple Music, and everything works together perfectly. And that's the ecosystem. That's the trap. Each product makes the ecosystem better, and you're not trapped by contracts, you're trapped by convenience. Most pool builders completely miss this. They finish a $70,000 job and consider the job done. Here's a real example of how you can apply this as a pool contractor, and I'm sure you've done it before without even realizing it. But let's say you sell a pool for $60,000. That's your base, that's your iPhone, that gets your foot in the door. You build that pool. After it's done, you sell them maintenance and you sell them cleaning, right? That's another couple $100 per month. You times that over 10 years, that's $24,000 right there. This is like Apple Care or some of those subscription services. But while you're building the pool, you can upgrade them to a spa. You can upgrade them to bubblers. You can upgrade them to LED lights and turn that $60,000 project into something bigger. But here's the thing. Even if you don't sell a full outdoor living job, they're going to use you if they had a good experience with the pool when they decide they want to redo their patio. They want to build a pergola. They want to build an outdoor kitchen. Each thing, $20,000 here, $15,000 here. You're their guy. You're nurturing that relationship. You're coming out every week. You're cleaning the pool. Like, you are that person if you don't mess it up. But you need to keep them trapped in this ecosystem by nurturing them as a customer and keeping them engaged. And if you have them engaged, guess who's going to refer you? You know, let's say you average $100,000 and you get 3 referrals off that client. That's $60,000 iPhone turned into $500,000 from just one single person. And it's the same person selling these jobs, the same pools that he's building, but instead of treating the customer like a one-time thing and hey, here's your thing, thanks for the money, leave me alone, you're treating it like a relationship and you're thinking long-term with them. That one $60,000 pool could turn into $500,000 over the next 10 years if you lean into it and you nurture that relationship. And here's how you can implement it. At the contract signing for that first $60,000 pool, you want to plant the seed. Talk about what they can do later on. Building that outdoor kitchen, building that pergola, building turf and pavers and putting all of that down. You want to plant the seed now. And then when the pool's complete, you have another option to build that relationship. Most of our clients protect their big backyard investment and 90% of them opt into our white glove maintenance and pool care program. And that just takes care, keeps you protected, makes sure your pool's clean, everything like that. And here's where most people drop off. 6-month follow-up call. Hey, how is everything going? How are you guys liking the pool? Where are you at with everything that we discussed before? 18 months later, give them another follow-up. Hey, your neighbors are asking about those backyard projects. Like we're in the area building barbecues. Like, are you interested in anything like that? This isn't being pushy. This is being authentic, showing that you care and really being like Apple. Everything I showed you here works, and you can see that by how Apple's a trillion-dollar company. The problem most people run into isn't actually information, it's implementation. And after this video, you have two different options. You can take what I taught you and run with it and do your best to implement these things, or you can hire an expert to do it for you. We do that with outdoor living contractors. We become the marketing partner and guarantee leads and make them lots of money. We have an application and a wait list. I can't work with everybody. So if you're interested in seeing what that would look like, apply. There's an application link below. Just tell me a little bit more about your business so I can make sure it's a good fit and you're actually a business we can help. There's also tons of free videos on this channel. So if you're gonna go the I'm gonna do it myself route, bulk up, look at all the videos. You can learn so much and transform your business completely.